对啊，对，我刚好看到。
下午的演讲本场分享，请各位来宾入座，谢谢。各位来宾您好，今天下午的演讲主题为国际教育，从议题出发，做一个有感有温度的世界公民。本会场的主题为英语主题，如果您要参加的演讲为其他语种，请告知场外工作人员协助引导至会场，谢谢。本场演讲主持人为静宜大学英国语文学系丁文英主任，演讲人为台中市文华高级中学李宜轩老师。现在我们请丁文英主任致辞。
Okay, welcome. Then, as you understand, I thought that this was going to be proceeded in Chinese. So, as you can see, my preparation was in Chinese. So now we have to just immediately shift the gears to English, and I can tell that there are prospective teachers. That is, in the future, you will be the teachers, and some of you might be teaching now, right? So I have read the PowerPoint from Vanessa, from the design here, and I can tell that Vanessa is a very talented teacher and was a versatile student, okay? Because she graduated from Taiwan Normal University graduate school and focused on English language teaching. You will find that Vanessa has transferred what she has learned there into her teaching, like TPL or task-based, what do you call that? Task-based project. Okay, right. So now you can tell if you participated in the morning sessions, you will find that many foreign language teachings are now happening in Taiwan. And then as English teachers, we would think, does it mean that we will be pushed into the corners? No. If we make our, if we just raise our vision a little bit higher, you will see that this is an international education using English as a tool. And then I even heard people say that English teaching is going to be replaced by machines, but I don't believe so. Because today, Vanessa will tell you how she has turned English education into international education through issues. Okay, now let's welcome Vanessa.
Hello, teachers and future teachers. I'm very glad and very honored to be invited here. Let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Vanessa, and I'm the current teacher at the Wenhua Senior High School. And I'm also a homework teacher at the 3rd grade language talented class. Yeah, and this is my educational background. I studied at the National Taiwan University, and I went further my study at the same graduate school. Okay, and today I'm going to share one of my elective courses, which is 国际关怀, because we care. Alright, well, I have to tell you that this is a 1-hour Friday morning class. Students are freshmen who are from different classes. We just met each other for 1 hour a week. Okay, and why should I implement this course in my school? Well, I think there are two purposes right here. The first purpose is I would like my students to learn the world issues. Because in my view, I think that is one of the best ways to be connected with the world. Okay? And the second purpose is I would like my students to make some contributions to the human beings, to the needy people, so that they will not just be a global citizen, but loving global citizen. Okay? 有感有温度. That is what I want them to do in my course, right? So, as for today's presentation, I would like to introduce the course structure, including issue guidance and and also classroom practice and activities, right? And since there's an action plan at the end of my course, so I would like to share with you how I monitor my students, because action plan, that means they have to do their activities in the leisure time, okay, after school, at home. So we need to come up with a strategy to monitor my students, all right? And I will share what their feedbacks are at the end of my introduction. And I think the last session, I would like to reserve it with you. If you have any question, please do not hesitate. Just ask me, okay? So before my official presentation, I would like to mention this. Do you know what this is all about? Because this is right now is the trend, which is called Sustainable Development Goals, and this is actually proposed by the world leaders at one of the United Nations conference. Okay, and they just list 70 goals they would like to come up with a solution to by the year 2030. And these goals are actually the problems right now that hold to human beings. Therefore, they just think they have to achieve the goal like the no poverty, zero hunger, like the gender equality. Okay, this one is familiar to you, and also sustainable consumption. Okay, and like the climate action. Okay, and I think in my course is particularly related to goal 16, which is the peace, the justice, and the strong institutions. Because I incorporate the issue like the Syrian refugees, like the political activists, okay, and the migrant workers, right? These are the hot issues that we are talking about nowadays. And therefore, I think my course is particularly under the category of the Goal 16, okay? And if you ask me a question, why should I include the SDGs in my teaching? Well, I can tell you because I think in my mind, language teachers are more than teachers of a language. Okay. Of course, there's no denying that vocabulary, grammar, pattern, discourse are essential to language learning, to English learning. However, I just don't want students to learn more than that. Okay, because I always think teachers' attitude will shape students' attitude. Okay? Although Taiwan is now one of the United Nations member, but it does not mean that we are isolated. You know, the common problem that haunt human beings, like the climate change, also haunt Taiwanese. And therefore, I think we still have a duty to figure out the solution to solve this the common problem. Okay? And I think the teacher's attitude, the attitude that we influence our teachers, in the future, I think they will remember that more deeply. Okay? So I think we need to, through what we teach, our attitude and practice, we have an enduring and a far-reaching influence on the future attitude and personalities of our students. So in the long term, they will turn out to be more active thinkers and even doers. And that is why I want my students not just to learn the language itself, but learn the attitude and try to incorporate and learn the world issues in my course. Okay, and this is actually my design of the whole class. You will see all of the designs are about the project-based learning. My way of doing this is I divided my course into 3 sessions. The first session is about the issue guidance, and then I will embed different activities in each class. And at the end of the session, I will ask them to do a project. Okay, and that is why I call it project-based learning. And the 3 issues that I put into my design will be Syrian refugees. And at the end of the session, it comes with the debate, okay? And the next issue is about the Amnesty International. And you know, This is the world famous organization, 国际特赦组织, and every December, they will hold a very, very wonderful activity which is called the Right for Rights, 写信马拉松. And I took my students to participate in that. Okay. The last session is about the migrant workers, and there's a campaign which is about the code collection for the foreign fishermen, right? And this is also an action plan. This is about a project. So the design itself is quite simple. Issue guidance comes with the classroom activity, and then comes with a project. Okay, so let me share with you how I implement the issue guidance. Actually, I will spend like 1 hour, one class, talking with the background story of that issue. For example, take the Syrian refugees. Today, this year is the 2018. And do you know when the civil war in Syria started? Do you know the fact? This is historical fact. It seems to be a long time ago, right? And the answer would be 2011, which means this year it has been is the 8th year. When it started, no one knows the war is going to continue that long, right? So we start to feel nothing actually. However, I still tell my students, if you feel nothing, how come you can be a loving person, right? So I will introduce the background story, like why did the civil war happen in Syria, all right? And how does it look like? Well, it looks like this. It's the full of the debris. The building collapsed because of the bombs every day, right? And this is the Syrian city, one of the city which is called Homs in 2005, and you will see it's the prosperous city. But right now, it turned into like this. It's just like the ghost town. Was totally abandoned, right? And there are many factors, but the major factors is about Bashar al-Assad. We know he is a dictator, right? And also there's the oppositional force, which is FSA, and also ISIS. Okay, so you will see the situation is really complicated. Okay, just like this. The war is happening every day, and the people die there every day. So they have to flee from their country, right? If they can stay here, no one would go, right? And because just like this, bombing, fire, bullets, all right? So they have to choose to risk their life going to Europe, and actually it is quite dangerous because the boat like this is the crowd of the people, and it's going to sink anytime. Okay, and in fact, many people die at sea. Okay? So I will tell them why should the people, Syrian people, go to Europe, and I will spend 1 hour on this, the issue guidance. Okay, and then it comes to what activity in my issue class. And do you know what should I force my students to do activity? Because I just want to prevent them from falling asleep. Okay, if we want our life to be more alive, you have to keep them busy, right? So I have a practice every class, right? So take this class, for example. I introduce now about a very interesting virtual website, and this website comes with the situation. Students themselves have to imagine themselves as a refugee, and they have to decide which decision to make. There are 2 choices, and once the choice is done, it will lead on to another choice. Okay, it's just like the Robert Frost, the road not taken. One choice lead to another, and the other choice will lead to another, and there is no way of coming back because every decision will be a matter of life and death. Okay, so just let me show you. I'm sorry for the inconvenience because some of the problem in my computer, and therefore I just need to do this way. It's a little bit awkward, but I think it will be. It is still you can see this, right? So would you please just imagine yourself as the Syrian refugee? Okay, so we will see this website. How does it go? How does it function? Okay, right now we are a family, and here it comes to us a question because we have to move to Europe to seek asylum. And therefore, we have to choose the one culture to begin our journey. It's a long and a dangerous journey. So, we are male or female? This is the first question. Let's see. It seems that in this culture, we have a more female. So, how about choosing female right here? Okay, agree, right? And right now, I know the words here are not large and clear enough. It's defined. I will ask you. I will read you the description. Okay. It says, right now we have sold our house in Damascus, 大马士革, for a fraction of its value, $20,000. And you are now in Lebanon, but you dream of the safety for Europe. To make the journey, you must risk being smuggled across the land or sea, or both. So as a Syrian, to get to Europe, you have to go through Turkey or Egypt. So what's your choice? Okay, so let me show you. This is Turkey. Okay, if we go upward to Turkey, it means we're going to take the land route instead of the sea route. And it means the safer, but more expensive, okay? And if we go south downward, and then we will arrive in Egypt first. However, Egypt is usually not a final destination. Their destination will be right here, Italy or Greece. So we have to rent or take a boat across the Mediterranean Sea, okay? So it means more risk. So what is your choice? More money, safer, or less expensive? But it means the less expensive, you keep more money with you. So Egypt or Turkey. So may I ask the answer for you? Raise your hand. Okay. If you prefer Turkey, please raise your hand. Right. And if you prefer Egypt, go to Egypt first, please, raise your hand. Alright, it seems that Egypt has the more people, and then we choose Egypt. Okay? So, here is another question right here. A choice will lead to another choice. And it says that we have been in Cairo a week, where we meet a mob, the smuggler. 就是人权贩子哈，人口贩子。Amanda says he can help you, and you are not sure if you can trust him, but you know you have to take a risk on this journey. So Amanda explained that you have the two options: to travel to Italy from Alexandria by sea, or you can go to Libya, where the sea crossing is the shorter. So the situation is right here. Okay, we can go to this city. And the days that you spend on the boat will be longer, okay? And however, if we move to Libya and we will set up from here, it means the shorter days on the sea. So which one do you prefer? Okay, you will choose the city. Please raise your hand. Okay, right. Thank you. And if you prefer to go to Libya first, please raise your hand. Okay, so thank you. So we will go to Libya. Right. And, right here we face another situation. Okay, so Amand takes you to a house at the end of the alleyway. And he says, stay here until I get back. Don't leave, he says. He doesn't want you to be noticed because, we are going to Libya through illegal way. So we might be called by the police any time, all right? And however, about the sequencing, it would be good to get water, medicine, and a life jacket for the journey. Is now the time, or do you wait? Okay, so would you please, will you wait in the building, or you will buy all the life-saving gadget yourself? Okay, so you have to choose. This might be your only chance of getting any supply. Buy the life jacket, or you will go out. However, you might be seen by the neighbors and reported. Right? You will stay in the building, or you will go out. So you will go out, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. And you will stay in. Right, it seems that going out is our choice right here. Okay, so right here, right. So you leave your family in the house and then go out to look for supply. You manage to get small bottles of water, some snack, and some inflatable rings. And 2 days later, Alma comes back. I found you the truck to take you through the Libyan-Egyptian border. Let's go. You board the truck with your family, and at Libya in Libya, the driver says you now have to make the choice. You can keep going to Benghazi for $4,000 each. Remember, we just have $20,000, all right? Or you will go to Zuwada for $3,000 each. So we will see these two locations, right? Benghazi, $4,000. And the Zuwada is the $3,000. So which one to prefer? Well, because you arrive there, you arrive at Benghazi first, and then you will reduce the risk of being caught by the police, all right? And probably, and this Benghazi is the capital city of Libya, and I think that is why it might cost more money. Okay, so $4,000 for this and $3,000 for this. So you prefer this one, Benghazi, please raise your hand. Thank you. And if you favor Zuwala, please raise your hand. Alright, thank you. And so Benghazi. Okay. So right. You have your question. Now, a group of Libyan militiamen stopped you at a checkpoint. They demanded money from all the passengers. The pros and cons that your family and threaten you, and if you need that money, is that you have to start a new life. Is it worth trying to negotiate, or should you give them the money? Okay, so you need the money, but they ask the money from you. So you have to choose. The man could kill you and your family if you don't give them your money, right? So you will just give the money. And the second choice would be losing your life saving will be the problem, as you won't be able to pay for the onward journey. So you will negotiate with this guy, okay? So you will give money, please raise your hand. But remember, they have a gun, okay? They might be irrational, and you might be shot anytime, all right? And but if you have the guts, you probably want to negotiate with them, right? Because you do not have much money left, and you need the food, you need the water on the way to Europe. So you want to give money, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. And you will negotiate, please raise your hand. Okay, so negotiate. So what happens in the end? Okay, so this is our ending, finally. This is our ending. We start negotiating with the group, and you try to tell them that you don't have that much money. They drag you out of the truck and they search you. They beat you up, take all your money and they leave. So it's the same, how your money is taken. So now you're stuck in Libya. At least your family is still alive. Okay, so Libya is full of a desert. So right now we are trapped in the desert, but at least all your families are safe and sound. Okay. So sorry, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. Well, I will let my students to understand that. When the refugees that go to Europe is not easy, right? So after we are finished with the game, I will give them the map in A3 size, all right? And I will ask them 4 students to stay in a group, and I also give them some markers. And these the family, these the 4 students, the same, they are the family, and they need to have a discussion which route they will take, since they already know the route to Europe is full of the danger, all right? And also they have to decide right now, and I will save the last 10 minutes for them to share their ideas. So we need to send 2 of them to come to the platform, and one is holding the map, the other will explain their decision, okay? So I will ask my students to think about, how many flights that the Syrian refugees are being encountered, okay? And the second class, well, since I'm an English teacher, I would also like to train my students the listening, speaking, writing, and reading. And therefore, I will show them the TED Talk. And this is the Melissa Fleming. Let me introduce her. Well, actually, she used to be the head of the High Commission for Refugees in UN. And her English is really clear. Okay, she speaks slowly. So even without the subtitles, and this talk lasts for 20 minutes, but it's not that difficult for the students to understand. And however, what I want my students to do is I design a learning sheet, right? And these are the questions I want my students to pay attention to. For example, Miss Doa, and why does she move to Egypt? Okay, and what happened to her and her fiance, and then something like this. And I will, students and I, we will read over these questions before I play them this TED Talk, because I want these questions to serve like the pre-listening question. So the students will expect what to hear and what to take notes. Okay. So after this, and then I will play TED Talk. That is the second week. And well, for the next week, I actually assigned my students one homework. That is, I want my students to Google a piece of the news about the Syrian refugees, right? And I gave them one learning sheet, and I said, when you read the news, please, you need to identify the topic statements in each paragraph, and also you need to check the meaning, of the word that you don't know, right? And underline the important ideas, and then you try to put the important ideas into a paragraph. And this is the summary writing, and no more than 8 lines, all right? So I want them to be concise and precise, all right? And then this week, I asked them, you need to, if you come to my class, then please, take a summary with you, all right? And again, since my class has the 24 students, and 24 is the magical number. Okay, 4 groups, they could be a group, 4 people could be the group. 3 people could be the group, 6 people, 8 people could be in a group. So I think the 24 is the really, really wonderful and the ideal number, okay? And again, 4 students will stay in the group. And what I want them to do is, for example, this is their summary, right? And the other 3 will be the listener while I'm talking about my summary. Alright, and for the listeners, they still have to do something. Remember, I always keep my students busy. Yeah, and I want them, at the back is the learning sheet like this. I want them, while they are listening, you have to jot down, okay, the summary of the students, of the speaker's summary. So you have to put the speaker's summary into 3-line summary. Alright, so except for me, I have to just note down 3 pieces of the summary on the learning sheet. Okay, so therefore I want them to practice their speaking at the same time, they're listening as well, okay? And at the end of the class, I also randomly name one of the students from different group to come to the stage. And I will ask now, which piece of the news impressed you most? And then specify the reason, okay? I push them to think about the news. And which piece of the news, okay, that probably broke their heart, right? Because that is too painful, right? And do you know why I want my students to do this? Any of you still remember at the end of this session, it is a project which is debate, okay? When it comes to debate, it means a lot of preparation work, okay? When you are doing the debate, you need to find the information about the pro side and also anti side, okay? So, with all these activities, our goal is to prepare for our final debate. And this is the Google Classroom activity. Well, I set up the Google Classroom in my class for my students, and each of them has a school account which can log onto this my Google Classroom page. So sometimes I will ask them to turn in their homework onto the Google Classroom, and it is very convenient because I can easily see who has to turn in homework and who hasn't, okay? And I asked them to find a piece of news about the anti-stance of refugees. A lot of the European countries right now are not welcome refugees, right? Because of the security issue, because of the financial issue. They no longer welcome Syrian refugees stay in their country. And they always plan to send these refugees back to the Middle East because they think refugees are Muslim and they probably bring about terrorist attack in Europe, right? And they always think that we have a different religions. You are Muslim and we are Christians, or we are, we believe in Catholic, and therefore, they are now open-minded, right, over time, okay? So, I also want my students to find out the reasons why the European countries do so. And this piece of the news, as soon as they find it out, they should log onto the Google Classroom. And when I check all these news, I just choose the 5 best anti-refugees articles onto the comment page, so everyone could browse over when they prepare for their final debate, right? And well, this is my learning sheet, another learning sheet in my class. After reading so many articles about the pro-refugee stance and the anti-refugee stance, I led my students to think, okay, to reflect and to decide by themselves which account they will choose, right? I would say, if right now you support the refugee and then you go to pro camp, and right now you think you take the side with the European countries, and then you will take the anti-stance, all right? So it turns out that 9 girls choose the pro-refugee because those 9 girls are really amazing. They have much love and they have a sympathy for the refugees. So they take this account. The other 14, 9, let me think. 24扣掉9是15. Okay, the other 15 students just take a side with the European country, and then they simply they are anti-group. And I also asked my students to think, right now, imagine yourself, you are the lawyers. Okay, you are either the lawyers for the refugee or you are the lawyers for the European country. And then right now you are going to fight, you are going to go on a trial in the court, all right? So after they decide which the group to go to, I just ask them to think of the arguments that support their idea. But these arguments are not based on nothing. Rather, they should find more detailed information, okay? I want them to Google the information before they write down their argument, okay? And these 5 arguments are not supposed to overlap. They should be very different. And therefore, after this, and then I ask them to elaborate this argument into 1 minute opening speech. This is really like the Model United Nations opening speech. Do you know Model United Nations? 国立联合国. Yeah, it's just like that. And then what I want them to do is also I would like to train their critical thinking. You know, when you are doing the debate, you always need to expect, you know, beforehand. You need to expect what kind of the question you are likely to be asked. And how are you going to respond, right? You need to have the expectation. Otherwise, you know, a lot of the debaters, when they stand on the stage, they are completely at loss. They don't know what to say, right? And they don't know how to respond. And therefore, I want them just to come up with the 3 questions that they expect they will be asked from the other camp. And then I ask them to write down what their responses will be, okay? So this is my in-class activity. You will see these 9 girls. They are very, you know, hardworking. And this is the other team. This is the anti-refugee team. They even brought the laptop into a classroom, and all of them are engaged in the classroom discussion. Okay. And on the opening speech and on the debate day, you will see every student's name, okay, has been put on the blackboard. Well, there's the purpose right here, because you know this is the elective course, 是选修课程. Students do not know each other well, and of course I do not know them that well. I'm not the homeroom teacher, and therefore, if I don't ask to write down, if I don't ask them to write down their names on the blackboard, it's very likely that the whole debate will be in a mess. Because you might ask, who is the next? And sometimes students, you know, they are at a loss. They don't know they are the next speaker. And then the whole process will be delayed. So my way of doing this is they write down their name and then the sequence. So everyone would know, okay, who is going to be the next, okay? So, well, this is the questioning, okay, they are debating. And then, I also choose the winning group at the end of the debate. And for this debate, you know, the winner goes to pro-refugee camp. Okay, although there are fewer people in this camp, but they are very, very devoted. They even form a line group after class. And they have a lot of discussion in the line group. And I was surprised that they just they just defend these refugees by saying that refugees are actually, although they are the Muslim, but you know, according to the evidence we have found, there's almost no evidence to saying that the refugees are terrorists. So it's impossible to say refugees to bring about the danger in Europe. Okay, so that is what they say, and I was impressed actually. Okay, and I just want to introduce this part to you. I think it is quite interesting. Well, our department, our school, we have a dean whose name is the Wei Shoulan 老师, and right now she's the dean of the library. 她是图书馆主任. At the beginning of the last semester, she cooperated with the Donghai University. The professor's name is the Zhou Yiqi 教授. They have seen, they have agreed with each other, saying that if in my class and in other teachers' class, if we need foreign students, and they will send the foreign students to my class. Okay, so at the beginning of the semester, and I said I would like some Muslim in in my classroom because if I keep explaining Muslims are not the terrorists, then nobody will believe and then nobody want to listen. If it's still for me, it's not impressive. And therefore, I invited the 3 Muslims, Brady and Lisa and Audie and Louise to come to my classroom to share the Muslim religion and the festival and also culture. And these 3 graduate school, these are the students from graduate school in Donghai, and they just came to Taiwan last September, and they are from Indonesia. And you don't believe that Muslim, although they are the Muslim, they are very, very, very friendly. They wear a big smile all the time, and they even say they are the huge fan of Taiwanese food, and also they like Taiwan. Okay, they love the Taiwan very much, alright? So, we took the picture together. Students are, they say they couldn't believe their eyes because I just saved them as a surprise to my students. I didn't tell them that we're going to have the foreign students in my next class, so all of them were wow, okay? And this is our team, 魏秀兰老师, yeah. And at the end of this session, still, my way, I still kept talking to my students, although you might sympathize with the European country. You think Syrian refugees, there might be a social burden, all right? And however, we are Taiwanese, sometimes we need to be neutral. And sometimes we still need to show our compassion for the miserable refugees, because right now they are really helpless. And so at the end of this session, I still ask my students to log on to this website which is called CARE, right, to leave a short message to the Syrian people. And this is from my students. She says, never give up. Although your life must be hard, we support you in hard. I hope the Syrians, the civil war will end soon. There are many people who care about you in Taiwan. Okay, and they need to snap the shot, this the page, and send it to me. Okay, and post it to the Google Classroom again as the assignment. Right? I will take these assignments into consideration when I give them the final score. Okay, so this is the Syrian refugee, and then we moved to the second issue, which is the Amnesty International. And are you aware that the idea or the activity Right for Rights? Do you know this activity? Please raise your hand. Okay, you do not have any idea, right? But I can tell you that more and more Taiwanese teachers, not just English teachers, but also civic teachers, will take and invite their students to participate in this activity. This is the very meaningful, and my students like it a lot, all right? Well, let me explain this to you. Actually, in every country, okay, there are political dissidents. There are the political activists in different corners, right? In the different corners in this world. And some people would just write the complaint later to the Amnesty International because this is a really famous one, right? And they send later to this organization. And the Amnesty International will start their investigation into these cases. And after their investigation, they will just pick up the 10 cases that they decide to invite the students and the teachers and other people to write a postal card to. The 10 cases that they think it is more hopeful to send them. Alright, and these 10 cases will be evenly distributed in different continents. For example, like the 2 cases in Africa, 2 cases in Asia, and 2 cases in South America. Alright, and then after they agree, they call on people also to participate in this postcard writing. And each student should write at least 2 postcards. Students can decide. They could either write a postcard to the person, okay, or write a postcard to the government, okay. It could be the Minister of Domestic Affairs or Minister of Justice, right? It sounds a little bit difficult. However, if you participate in a seminar, okay, if they will, Amnesty International in Taiwan branch, they will hold a seminar every October. If you participate in the seminar, they will explain everything, right? And it won't be that complicated. Okay, so I just want you to have a more understanding about this. So just let me show you this video. Her name is the Piu Ann, and she is the political activist in Myanmar. And because of she took to the street in 2015, and she was under arrest. And then, Amnesty International asked the students to write a postcard to the Myanmar government. And, miraculously, she was released in 2016. Okay, so I told my students our small act will make a huge difference, right? So I will play this 1, 2, 3.
And I'm calling on the Nigerian government to abolish death penalties.
Lots of the teachers will lead their students to take part in this activity. One of the reasons is because the students will receive a certificate after they finish their postcard writing. The certificate from the International Amnesty, and that is why more and more students are encouraged to write a postcard. And it is not that difficult. And for the postcard writing, actually, I think for English teacher like me, I'm thinking, so that is so great. I can, train my students to read the case story, and I train their reading, okay? And then I can also train their writing, because in the debate, that is mainly about the critical thinking and speaking. And for this part, my purpose is about their reading and also writing. Okay, and there are 10 case stories picked up by the Amnesty International annually. And well, for me, for the small class and for the freshmen, I think the 10 stories will be a lot. My way of doing is I just choose 6 stories out of the 10. 6 stories, I think that is more understandable to the freshmen because some of the stories are really complicated. It requires a lot of background information, background knowledge, and so I just delete them, okay? So for the 6th story, I just carry out the 2 rounds in my class. The first round is, again, 4 students would gather together, and the 4 students, I will give them the case 1 story, and the other 4, I'll give them the case 2, case 3 for another group, and then they will start to read the case story together. So in the 25 minutes, they are extremely busy because they need to check the meaning of the words and also just filter out the unimportant information, just to keep the essential one, just like the one they did in the summary, right? They need to mark the topic sentence because in the later round they are going to share the story. So it's a little bit vague right here, but if I demonstrate like this, it will be easier for you to understand. The first round you will see case 1, these 4, case 2, these 4. Alright, and I give them the article. I ask them, you have to make sure your understanding, your reading comprehension is correct. Alright, because later you are going to share the story of the case story to the new group, okay, in the new group. So in the second round, right, I just choose the 1 from each group, and you will see this time 6 students will be together, and everyone should take turn talking about the story they have just read, right? So so after 1 class, everyone would know all these, the sister story, and there's the purpose right here because I just give each students 1 case story. I didn't give them 6 because it will print out too much the paper, and then after the storytelling round, I will I will save some time for them to trade their handout. Okay, I say if you are interested in a certain case, please find a classmate to change the paper with you, so that when they go back home, they will have a case story that they are really interested in. Yeah, because in the next few classes, that will be the case story that they want to write a postcard to. Okay, and for the next week, and since it has been 7 days, usually students' the memory does not last long, they will forget everything. So we need to work them up. And this time, I print out a large poster, and on the posters are the name of the political activist. And also, why should we write a postcard to, okay? And who are we going to write the letter to, okay? Probably would be the minister or the president. And what is our appeal? We probably asked for the accusation of the murderer, like this one. His name is Shu Haas. He was the murderer because she founded a magazine of LGBT, and no one was accused. Okay, and the Amnesty International want us to write to the government of the Bangladesh to ask for the accusation and the trial of the murderer. All right, so they have to really specify the purpose of our letter writing. Okay, so each different group will be given different poster, and I also hand them up on the blackboard together so that everyone will see these posters. right? And before they engage in the writing, I think our very important task is to teach the students how to write. And since they are just a freshman, we usually practice our writing in the second grade, or some teacher even delay that until the third grade. However, for the freshmen, they really have a great problem in writing. And therefore, we need to give them some sample later, but do not encourage them to copy. I will just analyze the structure of the later, like, first of all, since the poster card has limited space, and therefore you need to be very direct at the beginning of your writing. You need to write down your appeal, and also you briefly mention the problem or the key story. And then again, you mention the action that you want the government to do, all right? And then you sign your name. And also, I give them some word choice for them. Freshmen, their vocabulary amount is not that big, okay? They know very, very, limited words, right? So I give them some words, and I also give them the prefabricated sentence for them to just make a sentence. So after this, they would do the in-class writing. Since I asked them to write two, and one will be done, one is done in my classroom, and the other is the homework. Okay, so after they finish their card, I will revise the one for them, okay? And you will see this is their final product, okay? And you will see the poster card is the colorful because they draw some of the illustrations after their writing. And do you know why I asked them to draw after they were finished? You don't know, right? Well, I think I'm a 心机老师. Well, if you are the president, you will be bombarded with many materials, paperwork, and even poster card like this. Probably one president would read over 1,000 poster cards, but it's impossible. They will just pick up the one they want to see. So if they can, turn their poster card into eye-catching one, I say, well, your poster card would be more likely to be read by someone important, okay? So they just did their best, okay? Students are really, really cute, all right? This is the two Madagascar and the two Clovis, okay? Right, so their final product is like this. And we took a picture together before we send our poster card. And after I send the poster card, I also, update with them about the information. And I say, last December, okay, we mailed the poster card to the Taipei branch office, and then they mailed our poster card abroad on January 8th, 2018. And they will feel, yeah, we are doing something really meaningful. Yeah, because it's happening. It is not, we just send someone and someone keep it later. Okay, do not really send it out. Okay, so students, they are gratified, all right, about what they do, all right. And before the last topic, I also invite one of the college students who has the many experience in international volunteers, and this is also from Donghai University. And this girl, I think she's really, really brave because she went to Nepal and India. She even went to India. Lu Mengting 小姐 went to India to watch the kids who lived in the slum. And the kids are covered with the lice. 全身上下都是头虱. Okay, and she would help them take the shower and take the bath, all right? And when she went to Nepal, okay, she helped the ditch, dig a ditch in the village to direct the water from the mountain to the village, so every villagers would have the water to use, okay? And she also shared with us how to apply for international volunteers. Okay, if the students are really interested and have a leisure time, have a sufficient funds in their winter and summer vacation, it's really good because it's the harder trend for students to be the international volunteers abroad, right? And we want to just to share how we can apply for that and what the job that might be in different countries. Okay. And so before the last topic, I really doubt what I have to teach in my course, 国际关怀. Sometimes I doubt myself, do we have to show to the foreigners who live in the foreign country, or we can show our concern for the foreigners who live in Taiwan? Okay, and then I say, probably we can look at a certain group in Taiwan who also need our help badly. And then they are, the migrant workers, especially the migrant, the foreign fishermen. Okay? And, well, I just want to ask you, do you know this person? This lady? You don't know, right? And she didn't receive any attention until last year, last June. Her name is Li Yihua Xiaojie, and she has been the head of the Fishery Association since the 2013. And for these 5 years, she has been an advocate for the foreign fishermen. She always speaks up for these men, okay, who are short of the money and who really need our help, okay, all kinds of help. And I say that she started to receive attention because last June she went to America to receive the award Trafficking in Persons the Hero, okay, and this is the award given out by Ivanka, okay, from the government. Right? And until then, she became famous in Taiwan. Right? And well, I have to tell you that we really have to pay attention to that. It's because Taiwanese are the seafood lovers, right? We love the seafood like the lobster, prime, shrimps, the prawns. However, do you know that who catch these fish and the seafood for us? You don't know. We always think that is the fisherman's duty. However, it is the foreign fishermen, okay, who catch the fish for us, right? However, they're often exploited by the captain and the agency, right? And take a look at this picture. This is their living condition. They stay on the boat and living like this. However, they need to pay accommodation fees to the captain every month. 住这样子每个月还要缴膳宿费、住宿费给船长 ，okay? And then when the boat and the ship arrive at the dock at the port, they will be taken together to be locked into a small room like this. Okay, 60 people share one toilet. No food, just water. Okay, except for the lunchtime or dinner time. Okay, and they do not have any leisure activity. They just lie down. They just chat, right? And why? Because they are 境外聘雇员工. When we are saying 境外聘雇, that is illegal way. The captain would just go to Indonesia and to hire the foreign fishermen. They are not through the right procedure of the coming to Taiwan. Okay, so they are not allowed to walk around or to stay in Taiwan. They should be locked like the pets. Yeah. Okay. And you will see how miserable they are. For every month, as soon as they receive the pay, they need to pay the money back to Taiwanese agency, Indonesia agency, and also the middleman. Okay, so make a guess. How much do they receive for their pay every year? I mean, annual pay. 我说年薪. Can you imagine how little it is? Okay, they just receive $85,000 a year. $85,000 per year. So they are in desperate need of everything. And I told my students, well, as the students, probably we cannot do much for them. We're not the lawyer, so it's impossible for us to change the law system. And we haven't earned the money. We're not financially independent, so it's impossible for us to donate much of the money to these foreign fishermen. However, we can do one thing. That is, we can donate the second-hand clothes to the foreign fishermen, because most of them are from the Southeast Asia, and they wear short sleeves all the time, okay, all year round. And when they come to Taiwan in the winter at the sea, it's really cold, and therefore they really need a jacket and the coat and the trouser and even the vest for them to tide over the winter. So that is what we can do. So my students right here, I give them 2 tasks to do, and this is the action plan. Okay, the first task is they need to launch a donation campaign at the school. Okay, and they have to think of when, where, and how. I divide them into the 2 camps, and each camp they need to map out the strategies, all right? And the strategy is how to get and collect as more clothes as possible, all right? And then the other task for them to do is to shoot a film for promotion. As soon as they are finished, they need to post it onto the YouTube so that more Taiwanese will know about this issue, okay? And this is our time schedule. I also spend 1 hour doing the issue guidance, and then I saved 2 weeks for them to design their task, okay? And our donation campaign started on Christmas Day, and it lasted for 9 days. And this is the day when they have to finish collecting the clothes, and then put the clothes to the classroom, and we need to pack them. And then in fact, I sent the clothes on this day, all right? And so that the freshmen they can receive our clothes in the last week. And this is the date that the students need to make the final presentation, because they shoot the film and they have the film to share, right? Okay, and this is my students, and I think they are really adorable. We always think that it's impossible for students to do this. However, they surprise me always. I just gave them 10 minutes for them to come up with the name of the team. Because when you are doing the promotion, it's really impolite for them to come to a classroom and say, "Give me the clothes." Right? They need to have shout out the slogan, and they need to speak out the name of the team and their purpose and the background story of the fisherman. So you need to say something so that you can ask the code from your classmate, right? And the students are amazing, because in 10 minutes they just name themselves like 紧紧相依. Yeah. Okay, it's interesting, right? And the other group's name is the Yumi. And the students are really, really talented, because in another 10 minutes, they came up with the slogan like "Clothes make us close." Okay, yeah, it really makes sense, right? And the other is the give love to fishermen, right? So I think the students are way more talented than we imagine themselves. Okay, they have a lot of potential. Okay, so I say that although you are a different team, it doesn't mean we need to beat you out, and we can share what we have decided. So I asked each group to share what they have thought about in class. Okay, right? And as the one I mentioned, this is an action plan. And therefore, I need to monitor my students closely, because I have to give them the score. And I need to be very objective when it comes to the score. So I need a lot of the tool and the skills to make sure that my students are on track, are on schedule, okay? And every class, I will draw tracking chart in my class. Okay, and because in this task, I asked them, you need to just make a poster. So when you are doing the promotion, you need to have the poster with you, alright? And you need to write down the brief background story about the foreign fishermen, alright? And so this is another group that they should do the poster writing. And also they need to design the flyer because you are promoting online flyer or the paper flyer, so they can distribute the flyers at the school, right? And then last would be the box, okay? If you want the students to donate the clothes, where should they put their clothes, all right? So you need to have a box, right? So each group, they should report how much they have done in each class, right? And I also form a line group with the leaders of the team, 2 leaders of the team. I require them to send me the pictures every day, okay? Every time you go to the office or you go to the classroom to promote the donation, you need to take the pictures because pictures will be the elements in your film shooting. Yeah, when you are making a film, you need the pictures, right? So I asked them to just to put on the pictures right here, and if they have encountered any difficulty, they should tell me as soon as possible, and I will give them a piece of advice, right? And also, after 1 week, after their promotion was going on for 1 week, I also used one class for them to hold a meeting. Yeah, because the students are from different classes, it's really, really hard for them to find the time to gather together, to think about their problem, okay? To think about the difficulties. So I use the class time for them to do the meeting, just 检讨会. And in the meeting, they should think about what kind of difficulties they have encountered and how could they solve these difficulties. So I'm training them the problem-solving ability, and this is the core competence in our new curriculum. 在我们的新课纲，这是未来的一个重要的能力，就是解决问题的能力，可以发现问题，可以解决问题。好，那 right. And then, this is the tool that they make for this activity. And this is the online flyer made by one of the students. I say, students is really, really talented. Yeah, that is so true. This is an electronic flyer. And they will just put it on their Instagram, in their tweet, in their Facebook, okay? So a lot of people will get the information, right? And they also, when the promotion tour started, they would go to different offices like this. Okay, I will just show you the.
我们是 GLTS 接受就接受们。我们这次活动希望大家能募集自己家里御寒衣物，像是外套、夹克、毛帽、护围巾，因为那些外籍公司很少，然后又被台湾人的船长虐待，没有时间上船去买御寒衣物，所以在外出的时候都穿得很单薄，所以希望大家能发挥一点爱心，然后捐出自己的衣服，让他们也度过温暖冬天。6、7、8，送脑送爱送冬衣，邀请大家一起来号召关怀国际渔工，自由者。
Okay, so that is one of their clip, and the other team, they are even more courageous because they contact the dean of the student affairs, and they just went to the morning assembly and to promote the donation to the whole school, right? And this girl, I think she is really, they're brave, okay?
The migrant fishermen are treated unfairly by Taiwanese captains. They suffer on the ship poor living environments and they lack warm jackets and clothes for winter. So let's donate our clothes to help them tide over their winter.
大家好，我是来自国际公海课程的。然后你知道吗？在台湾有一群是东北人问题，他们为了加上亲人来到台湾去了。
当我们在抢救新鲜鱼肉时，他们需要在极差的生活环境下极其寒的生活环境下工作，然后还要接受 还有台湾政府对他们的剥削及教育规范。在这个冬天，我们希望借由募集冬衣来为他们，来帮他们度过这寒冷的冬天。地点在102的教室、12教室，还有1楼的圣诞树旁，以及还有圣诞树旁，还有时间是从今天开始到下礼拜5，都可以去拿你的冬衣，拿成年男性的冬衣，放在箱子里面。Clothes make us close， 希望大家可以发挥你们的爱心，为他们一起度过这个这么寒冷的冬天。
Okay, so like did this in the morning assembly with the principal standing aside. So I just saying, wow, you really made me proud. Okay, they didn't tell me in the class. They did it by themselves. Okay, so I think these are really nice girls. And this is the donation box, okay, called the collection box, and they put it in the office of the student affairs. So if the students are interested in donation, okay, they will just put the clothes, the second-hand male clothes into the box, and then the students will, tidy up the clothes every day. They would take the clothes back to their classroom, make sure that they would not be stolen by the other group. Okay, so it's really hard to say because if I put the coaster right here, it could be taken by the other group. So they will make sure their coaster wouldn't be stolen, right? Okay, and I would like to share with you one of the beautiful story because my students, I say, I'm the homeroom teacher of the language talented class, and all of my students are senior, and they are facing the entrance exam. And however, one of the students learned the news about this campaign, and she didn't tell me. She just went back to the church in Nantou and asked the priest to spread the news to everyone. So when she came back from Nantou with her mom just took all these clothes with her and to Wenhua Senior High. And this is my student who always made me proud. Her name is Joy, okay, and she did it by herself. She is the volunteer, right? And on the packing day, our principal came to our classroom, right? And he said that he was very supportive of our activity because he grew up in Penghu. So when he was little, he always witnessed lots of fishermen and even foreign fishermen. So he would know the price of these fishermen. He knew the winter is extremely cold and they didn't have the funds or money or the time to buy the jackets for themselves. So when he learned the news, he was very touched, and they came to my classroom to give the students the words of encouragement. Okay, and we took the picture together, and we packed the clothes, and it's about the 17 boxes in total within the 9 days, and it's the 370 jacket, clothes, and trousers. Actually, we just leave out some really old, some worn out clothes and the yellow clothes. Okay, we want the clothes in good condition, and then we put them into the box. Alright, and this is the final film made by my students, but I think I'm going to save it. I'm saying that they did a great job, alright, and they learned a lot from this issue. And since I'm the teacher who would do follow-up, I made a phone call. After I sent the clothes, I made a call to Mr. Lin, and he said that he received the clothes from Wenhua Senior High on January 8th. And 2 days later, they just laid out all the clothes and just next to the port. And so for the foreign fishermen who need the clothes, they came down from the boat and then choose the one that are suitable for them, alright? And you know what? That week, there was the strong cold front, and it was really, really cold. So our clothes would be the best gift for them. according to Mr. Lee. And since this campaign, they will start it every October and it lasts for 3 months. And you know what? For these 3 months, the last year, this year's January, they just received the 90 boxes. And from Wenhua, we gave them 70 boxes. What I'm saying here is you can consider this the proportion. Not many Taiwanese know about this topic, know about this issue. So therefore, I'm sure to beg you and to invite the teachers in the future, if you want to implement the action plan into your teaching, you can consider this activity, which is, I think this is very good. And it always, students that can totally identify and recognize this activity. Yeah, they participate in, okay? And I would also like to share with you, since this is the action plan, and how did I give the student a score, okay? First of all, I asked them to do the self-evaluation, okay? And I asked them, in the cost donation, what kind of a job you have done? And how many promotion tours you have taken part in, okay? You have to be very honest, right? And then give yourself a score, right? And also, I did the peer review, I didn't ask my students to give their partner a score. Rather, I asked them to think about, in the whole process of the campaign, which of the 3 peers, which of the 3 partners that you think you want to show your gratitude to, okay? Please write their name down and specify the reason, all right? So from this, I can also tell who made more contribution, all right? And this is the final feedback. This is not too many words, and therefore I just scan a certain part. My question for them is, after 1 semester course, what is the change in you? Please, you have to tell me. And one of the students' answer is really interesting because he didn't expect that my class will use so much English. Yeah, because I speak like 80% of English in class. And I also encourage them to respond me, they have to speak in English as well. And if you are really not that proficient in English, you feel very struggle. And however, she said, after 1 semester, she get used to that, and and she learned a lot. And the best thing is that she thinks it's kind of the turn love into the real action. Yeah, into real action. And the one I would like to particularly share with you is this student saying she is the person with the justice. And however, according to the past experiences, she didn't have a chance to put all her thoughts into action. Okay, she was talking about, I want to do something, I want to do something. But after taking this course, she kind of fulfilled her dream, right? And one of the dream is she has already decided to be an international volunteer in the upcoming summer vacation, okay? And she's going to take a real action to fulfill her dream again, right? And I also asked them if there are any words that they would like to leave to Vanessa. And this one is, she said that she used to be a very timid person who has the stage fright when speaking English or when speaking out her thoughts. However, after this master's training, because I always ask them to share what they think or what they learned in my class, so she now overcome her problem and she becomes more open-minded. And her suggestion is she would like me to extend 1 semester class into 1 year. So next time, if I have the chance to introduce my 国际关怀, I think that will make it 1 year and to have a more SDG issue in my class, okay? And this, all right? And the reflection part, I will save it because I would like have the Q&A session. And this is the class picture. And you know what? One of my students, when I asked them to show the gratitude to the team members or to the teacher, she cried on the spot. She cried at that moment. And she said that, well, the spark, I kind of kindle the spark in students. Remember at the beginning of my presentation, I said that teachers' attitude will leave the more impression on students. Yeah. Through the whole process, I told them a lot of the vocabulary, especially in the issue of the right for rights. I teach them a lot of the words. However, what impressed the students the most is about the issue. It's about the need of the needy people. It's about how we can to make a contribution, even though we're just the students. We are not that rich, okay? We're not that powerful. Still, we can do something for the people who live in the poor condition, okay? So I think that is the spirit that I pass down to my students, right? And I also went to the UFO network to share our story. And then today I share with you, okay? And you know, right now Q&A session. I don't know whether students or graduate students or teachers right in the classroom. Do you have any questions about those issue guidance or any activities?
First of all, let's give Vanessa a big hand. She has really done a very thorough introduction into what she has been doing through the caring for international issues. And she has also demonstrated a very good use of English education. Because to me, it is always important to teach students things in English instead of teaching them English only. I believe you know the difference. So, do you have any questions that you would like to learn from Vanessa so that you can replicate what she has been doing? I know it's quite impossible just to directly do what she has done, but I believe there must be some kind of framework that we can follow. Do you have any questions?
Or you can speak in Chinese. Yeah, we always feel more comfortable when speaking Chinese. Yeah.
If you don't have any questions, I would like to ask one question, the key word I just asked. That is the framework. I know that we try to care for this world, and through our caring, we would like our students to do things in English. But how did you get started, and what can we do? What can we do so as to follow the framework, a very basic structure so that we can just do it according to our own design instead of asking someone like you all the time?
Right. Before I teach this elective course, I teach the MOM, okay, Model United Nations. And when I started to teach the MOM, I was very scared because MOM was all about issue, and the MOM you also need to learn the procedure, okay, about the conference, the procedure, and so that you can talk about the issue. At that time, I met a teacher whose name is Wang Youyu Laoshi. She was very professional, and she talked to me. Well, when you are doing the issue teaching, you have to make a balance between the knowledge giving, okay? You, of course, as the teacher, we need to study the issue thoroughly before we teach our students. And when you are doing this, the issue teaching, actually, you can ask the colleague about, colleague like the history teacher or the civic teacher, because they know a lot about the issue than us. We are just English teachers. Yeah, we just know how to teach the vocabulary and the grammar. And if we want to be proficient information, I think, of course, we can Google information online. And also we can ask the team for our colleague, like the history teacher. And then, what we will also give me a suggestion is we have to think of some activities to match our teacher, to match our issue. Because, for example, what I think of the activity is actually about the English teaching activity. Just to remember that our focus, one focus at a time, listening or reading or writing or speaking, okay? You just design a little task for the students about the issue, and then, your class, one class will be done, right? And step by step, we still need to have a common goal. When you are dealing with the issue, you need to think about if the students don't know about the issue, what is your purpose of doing this, okay? And when I deal with the Syrian refugee, I know that it's impossible for me to solve their problem, to solve their difficulty. So, however, what I want the students to do is I want them to look at the issue from different angles. And at this moment, debate, just emerged in my mind. I think we need to have a debate at the end of this session about this issue. Okay? So as long as the project and the issue will be done, I think the classroom activities will be easier. So that is the framework I would follow.
Okay, very good, thank you. And now perhaps Chinese session. Would you like to ask questions in Chinese? 我们还有10分钟，就是可以自由发问一下。因为机会难得，已经有这么好的潜力在先，我们或许可以从李老师身上学到更多。
So I did enjoy your speech and study talk, so I learned a lot. Thank you very much. And I just have a question, like you say it's a selected course in your school, right? So I'm wondering, would you see any possibilities to integrate this kind of curriculum into a regular English course?
Well, I did integrate the Syrian refugee part into my language talented class, because for that special class we have 8 hours a week, so the time is sufficient. So I will teach them extra. However, for the regular class, I think the most difficult part is you probably just have 4 or 5 hours a week, and then you have a textbook and magazine and other teaching materials to deal with. It will be a little bit difficult. So well, but still, I think if this is the case, I still encourage the teacher. We could cut this short. We do not just make it this big. We can still introduce the current issue into our classroom, and just like save 1 or 2 or even 3 hours, especially after the midterm exam, when the schedule is not that tight, and we can just have the issue guidance and have the single activity. And I think yes, we still can make it and make it small, right? And that it is still inspiring for the students. Yeah, at least they know something.
Okay, a very small question. Where do we retrieve the story? Like the Syrian story, I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
So if we want to do that in our classroom, then what's the website? How do we retrieve it?
You're seeing the virtual website that we play the game.
Yeah.
Oh well, you just type out BBC Escape the Route, and then you will find out the website.
So are there other stories of the similar?
This is the story. This the website is interactive, and actually for my students, the choice you just made is the first time I encountered this situation, because nobody choose the same. So it will be a lot of different endings. Okay, some will be sent back to the Middle East, and some finally make it to England, and some is just trapped in Italy. So when you are making a different choice, it will come out a different story, and the students can replay the game. Yeah, if you want the result different. Yeah. Okay, and escape the route. That's the key word.
So does BBC have other similar kinds of stories?
Yes, of course, because they have a wealth of information on their website, and then you just insert the different keywords. You just said refugees or refugees who successful refugees, successful. Some of the refugees when they finally made it to Germany, they actually kind of lead a new life. Because Germany right now, they are facing the aging population, and actually they really need the people who could support their economy. So you will find different stories about the refugees. Some are really inspiring and successful in Europe, and some are miserable. So you can go to the DW. DW is 德国的新闻台. Okay, you will find a lot of information about refugees as well. And Radiant, okay. However, in Radiant case, right now I speak Chinese. 他们很多的那个难民被送到类似瑞典的北方，比较偏北极圈那边。那北极圈那边呢，就是要么就有重，要么就有业。那很多难民在那边都有忧郁症，他们自己要求要被遣返，就是有很多很不一样的新闻。那像是如果是在东欧那一边哈，就是什么保加利亚或者是那个匈牙利，他们一刚开始的立场就是我们不欢迎是信奉回教的难民，但是如果难民愿意信奉天主教，我们就欢迎他，我们愿意帮助他。所以呢，那个是不一样的国家，他们会有很多就是不一样的立场。好啊，那像是法国本来也是很支持难民，可是自从就是巴黎的那个枪击事件死了150多个人，好，然后还有就是在比利时，然后下面的西班牙，还有旁边的那个英国，都受到了那个就是ISIS 的攻击之后，他们的态度就开始转出保守。那我现在讲的是，就像难民的故事，我们每一分钟都是在改变的，每一分钟都有人的立场本来是从开放，然后到后来是保守，每一分钟都有，因为也许就是像难民有一些比较可怜的故事，像是 Alan， 你们还记得吗？就是一个小男生3岁，然后他的尸体被冲到那个土耳其的海岸，然后还有一个 Omar， 他就是5岁的叙利亚的小男童，然后就是他的头就被那个瓦砾堆就是拉出来的时候，整个都是流血，然后送到那个救护车的时候，他就一动也不动，也没有哭，然后默默的擦拭他的鲜血。有一些新闻照片，它也带来了一些比较革命性的一个人民的改变，因为看到那些照片，心里太痛，所以就会有一个短暂的现象，是我们又支持难民。可是有时候又来一个攻击事件，像曼彻斯特那个什么 Arizona 的演唱会，然后炸死了好多个歌迷，又会有那种一个新闻事件来，大家的态度又不太一样，所以我就说他们其实的瞬息万变的。好，那我去年教的新闻，可能和我之后要教的，我们又会不太一样。所以我是觉得说，就是当老师对我来讲。我最大的学习也是我自己都不断的要去更新我的 information， 然后也因为就是我要找不一样的资料，然后又为自己又强迫自己要去把那个最新的消息把它给抓到，因为你不可能教陈旧的东西，对，你不可能去教那个已经不是事实的东西，这就是在教 SD 区的时候会有一点点比较麻烦的地方。可是我觉得就是自己获得的增长也很多，因为你不许你自己要不断的去更新，所以我也觉得我一直在跟着这个世界的议题的脉动在走，我不是一个 outdated。好，那事实上我觉得当语文的老师也没有什么东西是完全的一劳永逸的，对，一劳永逸的存在在课本。可是未来新课纲，不知道各位老师，未来的老师们有听说吗？我们课本都会一直改哦，对，而且我们的 许不会从5个小时变4个小时而已哦。对啊，所以我们的未来是面对一个特别有挑战性的未来。对，就是也许未来我们都没有办法好好的教同学 reading， 但我们可以教他们的是 reading strategy。对，我们可以教他怎么样去找到 information， 让他们可以自己阅读。对，那我们可以教他们写作，是教一些很基本的一些，比如说 graphic organizer 来整理思绪，然后教他们就是要自己去练习评论，因为未来的变革会让每个老师身上的 burden 变重。我这样子讲，就是会不会让所有老师就 feel discouraged？ 好，就是我觉得每个老师都会很累，因为我们可能都要面对要开多元选修，我们要开不止多元选修，就文化我们前导学校来讲，我们还要开补偿性的英文，就是会有1个小时，然后专门就是同学可能分3组，就是有 A 班、B 班、C 班，程度不一样的，然后他们就是看那个老师要上什么这样子，好像除了多元选修外，然后还有就是那种空白课程，就是要看学校是怎么安排，还有校本课程，就像我们学校是文化学，那每个学生来学这个文化学会有不一样组别、不一样个别的老师下去教，英文课就连6周，就去上6周，我们打算上的是简报力。好，那所以就是在学校的老师，我觉得是现在都有一个任务就是怎么样去找到我们自己也觉得很重要，然后你觉得学生来学习这个技能或者是学习这个知识，对他的一个核心的素养是特别有帮助的。我们要开始去开发这个东西，而不是只有教课本而已。对，好，那我觉得就是回归到最后，老师们我们内心要找到一个我们自己的真正的passion，因为我从国立联合国一路走过来，我学了很多的议规，可是我议规呢，说真的，我没有跟着学生去开会，总觉得议规是非常的复杂，然后再加上我的学生有的又不愿意去参加外面的会议，怎么样推他就不要去，因为去参加会议要额外缴报名费，好，那我们不可能强迫他们。那一旦他们有去参加外面的会议，我在教模拟联合国的课程来讲，对他们就有很大的障碍，所以我就后来就决定了，我就要把我的模拟联合国改成国际关怀。其实我有一个转折的，我就保留所谓的那个议题的教学，然后我用我觉得学生比较容易懂，好，然后会愿意有兴趣做的活动，把它包覆在这边。那学习议题，学习这个 SDG。本身就是我一个 passion， 好，那就是也是祝福，就是说在场的老师还有就是同学，好，那未来的老师们找到内心的火花，透过教学和学生一起成长，然后把内心的火花越烧越旺，然后就是这是我们未来要面临的一个课题还有挑战，这样子，对，谢谢。
最后一句话，李老师证实了语言的教学。它不只是 4 skills 而已，它还有外加一个的，就是文学、议题、文化 anything you like。那也证实了机器人永远没有办法取代语言教学。OK， 谢谢各位。我们有个小礼物，是，对，感谢张宇，谢谢李老师。更谢谢各位的参与。可以回到会场有点心，对不对？
现在开始是3点整为茶叙时间。那国际会议厅的外面备有茶点，欢迎各位来宾自己取用。下午第2场演讲将于3点开始，请各位临时就座。
现在这个分
可以看一下。